Hey,
Hey!
groovy music, huh?
Yeah, I like that one. I was grooving to it.
It's a good one, good one. So we're here. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to talk about AI note takers, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All
This
right.
is the
So
big one. Why? Because this has become so needed and prevalent over the last few years.
for sure, for sure. So AI is the big thing, right? The ChatGPT announced about a year ago, and it's taken the world by storm, which is leading to all sorts of productivity enhancements around various things that we use in our lives. One of them is meetings, right? Meetings have
Mhm.
been front and center over virtual methods since the pandemic, and it's just been more common to do meetings virtually as opposed to in person. I can't imagine taking more than a few percent of my meetings in person these days, other than construction meetings and site meetings, which we do quite a bit of. But tell us about AI note takers and where do you want to start this thing, Norman?
Yeah, let's start from pre-pandemic when meetings were in person. You'd go and you'd sit there and you'd try to take notes. So when we started doing our meetings with our clients, we would go. Jeff and I would go to our clients, and I would pull out a laptop or my phone, and I would try my best to take notes. And it was kind of a nightmare because A, I can't type all that fast, and B, there would just be a lot of silence where I would have to say, hang on a second, I'm just taking notes on what we just said. And that really just wasn't all that awesome. And then the pandemic hit. And suddenly, all of our meetings were online. Yeah, sick. Okay, great. So now we're doing all our meetings online. Everything's groovy, except what we realized after a while was now that the meetings were online, it was even harder to take notes because they're, furiously typing away and again saying, hey, hold on a second, I'm taking notes. And everybody was just looking at me on the screen. Uh, and so kind of taking notes kind of like fell by the wayside a bit. And then what I started to realize was I would get a question 2 weeks after the meeting saying, what did they say in that meeting? And I'd be like, I don't remember. Jeff knows me remembering what happened in the meeting. Come on.
Yeah, you got to work on that memory, bro.
Yeah. So, like, that would happen a bunch. Or I would ask Chloe, what did we decide to do about this in that meeting? Or what did they say? Or, hey, did we mention that in the meeting? I'm hoping we did. Or, I don't know, all kinds of things. And so we started with the concept of just recording the meeting. And we use Teams as our meeting platform. So we would just start recording the meetings in Teams. And what we quickly realized was that is no way to find what you said in a meeting.
No, you could watch the
Hour-long
whole.
meeting, and you got to like sort of fast forward a little bit. Did I say it then? Fast forward a little bit. Did I say it then? Right?
Right. I,
And
I
you can
think
do
we
some
just
of
jumped
these.
into this. We didn't even say who we are and what we do.
Oh, you're
We're
right.
so
You're right. You're
excited
right.
to
You're
talk
right.
about AI and meeting note takers, but I am Jeffrey Tabelli, the founder of RCS Professional Services. We have offices located in New York City and Atlanta, Georgia, and we provide managed IT services to small businesses and mid-sized businesses around the country. And Norman is an integral part of that because he's responsible for a lot of things, but some of the things are research and development and making sure our clients have the best technology. But really, a key thing that he and his team is responsible for is making sure the clients are happy. So that part of how we do that is we meet with them regularly. And this is why the importance of AI note taking is making our lives better and our customer experience better, right? I mean, I kind of jumped to that, but let's get back into it and explain how you use it in your day to day.
One more quick note. You guys can come on this webinar. If you just, there'll be a link popped into the chat, right? We're doing that this time around?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there'll be a link popped into the chat. You can click on that link and you can come on the webinar. Boom, there's the link. Thanks, Alex. And if you do that, just, what is it? They mute something, they turn off something?
Yeah, turn off your LinkedIn or mute your LinkedIn window because there is a delay in the audio and it'll just like echo and go crazy. So,
Yeah,
but
you
feel
guys
free to
want to mute your LinkedIn window, I think is what it is.
or shut it off, right?
Well, if they shut it off, then they off the webinar.
I gotcha.
Once they're off of this, they'll be gone, and I don't want to take them off forever. Well, and the other thing is, if you don't want to come on, you can also make comments and ask questions, all in the LinkedIn chat situation going on there. So let's hear it. And now, back to us. Okay, so where was I? Oh, we were recording meetings in Teams. Oh, God. Hey, where was that hour-long meeting? Let's go start looking at the video. No, it just didn't work. So we
Not
started
fun.
to look around for these things called AI note takers. And what they do is this great thing. They record the meeting, they transcribe the meeting, but not only those two things, they pull a bunch of information out of the meeting. So they'll summarize the meeting, whereas, this is what they were talking about at this point, and this is what they were talking about at this point. It will find out what the action items were and bubble those up. Okay, so you can say to the thing, what are the action items from this meeting? And it'll say, well, you decided to do this, and you said you'd get this over to this person, that sort of thing. What else it'll do? It'll pick out questions. Well, you asked this question, this question, and this question. And what's really nice about a lot of this is if you are looking for something, well, one, you can just search the transcription, right? That's obvious. But if I search the transcription and I click on that spot in the transcription, it takes me to that spot in the recording. So
cool.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm going to show you some of this in a bit.
So when I broke into my career early in my days, right, the CEO of the company would sit there with his assistant, and she would sit there with a little pad and write down like, okay, Jeff said he's gonna call you on Monday with this information, and then like hold me accountable to it, right? And then anything that he needed to do, she would put in this pad. And you're kind of saying like that's all antiquated. That doesn't really need to happen anymore.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Not kind of, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, so it's almost like having the physical person there taking all the notes, telling you what to do, but on steroids and better.
Yes. Okay.
I'm excited.
So there are a number of these out there. I already mentioned Teams, and I kind of disparaged it a bit, but it's come a long way. Now they've got in Teams, I think it is premium. It'll do a bunch of this stuff. It's got Copilot built in. Copilot is Microsoft's AI. It's built off of ChatGPT, and it happens to be great. By the way, if you're not using it, it's great. I'm using it across all of my apps: Teams, Word, Excel, Outlook. Woo! Outlook's great. It's summarizing things for me. It's writing emails. It's great. I'm taking a vacation.
Right.
But in Teams, what it will do is it will do a bunch of the things I'm saying, like, hey, what were the action items? What happened in the last 5 minutes? Because I spaced out. It'll do all those kinds of things. But let's see. But some of the others that were kind of first to this are great also. So let's see. We've got Fathom, which is the one we happen to use. There's Fireflies. We've got a couple of clients on that. There's Otter. There's a whole bunch of these at this point. And they all have their strengths and weaknesses. So if you were looking to use one of these, well, I don't know why I'm telling you this now because I haven't even shown you the thing yet. But if you were going to look for one of these, start thinking about what you want out of this. You just want to record the meetings and get the information out of it, or do you want to help people close sales? Yes, there are note takers that are strictly for that concept of it's listening to the meeting, it's realizing when there is a sales opportunity and pushing you towards that sort of sales opportunity. So yeah, there are these note takers that are built on certain concepts. Fathom, Fireflies, Otter, those are just sort of the general ones. And there are ones that are built on, like, yeah, listen, this guy's a sales guy. Let's take a listen and figure out where he can be closing sales and stuff like that. So
That's awesome.
yeah, those are great. You can see, yeah, we see that. That was actually our first little view into these note taker apps. Is our vendors were using them, and we said, "What's that?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, the company's having us use it, sales and whatever." And it was like he showed us things. It was great. So let's take a look at the one we use. Ready?
I'm ready, man.
Okay, let's do this. I don't know if I've ever actually presented in this software before. Let's give it a shot. Share the screen. Okay. Can you see my screen?
I don't see it.
Dang it. Try again. Let's do the entire screen. Ooh, yeah, let's use this one. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work. Oh, no. Start again. Hang on. I screwed that one up. There was a key piece of information there. Key piece of information. That was sharing the audio. I'll do this second time. Second time is a charm. You know what they say? No one ever says that. Okay. Can you see it?
I can see it.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. So this is a meeting we recorded in Fathom because we essentially record all of our meetings at this point. So some of the things you're going to see in here right off is, let me advance this just a dot.
Specifically, I think one, the account takeover piece and possible travel.
Didn't tell you to say anything yet. Okay, so this was a meeting we had with Huntress, and Huntress is one of the EDR softwares we sell. EDR is great. MDR, managed EDR. If you're not on EDR, get on it because it's the way you're going to figure out there's a hacker on your computer or in your network. This is where you want to be. And besides, if you have cyber insurance, they're going to ask you to get this. Anyway, that's what Huntress does. They do it great. And this was a deep dive call with a bunch of Huntress guys and with me and Tim from our organization. So the first thing you're going to see here is, so this meeting happened, and this is what Fathom did with this meeting. So first thing you see here is over here, there's a video of the whole call. Yes.
What I kind of highlighted to him was that there are a lot of scenarios where we would detect.
So you can watch the whole video. You can see it full screen, expanded, all of that. Because this sort of thing, like when he gets into demo parts, it's great to be able to see the bigger screen. And then down here, it's giving me a summary. And I can see that summary in various ways: Q&A, sales, chronological. And yeah, he's saying, okay, here's this person talking about Huntress's detection techniques. Great, here's the incident reports we were going over. I can click on it. It will take me straight
I do want to show you
to that point in the video. And that's, so let's see, if I go to the transcript, this is what I really love, because I just said to you when I started this, hey, did we say that on the meeting, or what was said about that in the meeting? So if I go to transcript, I can click on, let's see. Oh, Entra is a good one. Okay, so Entra is one of Microsoft's products, one of their security products. It is login security. If you think that just the username and password is enough at this point, oh my God, are you years behind the hackers? And if you think username, password, and MFA is enough, you're still actually a bit behind. You need something like Entra because it's what's looking at the rest of your login information and seeing whether that login is kosher. Things like you logged in from New York and then you logged in from London 5 minutes later. You can't get from London you can't get from New York to London in 5 minutes. So it's the sort of thing, that's the sort of thing it's looking at. So even if you got the whole login correct, it's still not going to let you in. All right, so let's take a look. And for some bizarre reason, Microsoft decided to name that Entra. Great name, Microsoft. So Huntress kind of works in concert with something like that. It's doing the detection at the computer and network level, and Entra's doing the detection at the login level. So let's take a search for whether this happened in that meeting. Oh, and yeah, here we go. Here is that part of the meeting where we were talking about Entra licenses. I can click on
this functionality of detecting MFA, we are currently limited by Microsoft, so we're only able to pick up the
cool.
4 accounts that have at least an Entra P1 license.
Right? I got the transcript. It was exactly what she said. It was showing me who said it. It was Ella. She was the one who was saying all of that. And as you'll notice, as I'm scrolling through this transcript, it's moving the video also. So if I click here, let's see. This is me talking.
Gotcha. So what sort of things will you step in and do that on?
So that's going to be when we detect a suspicious anomalous warning rule, we'll disable it.
Okay, right? I think this thing is great. I love that we now use it.
What sort of things do you use this? Like, where do you find value in this? How does it help you?
So again, I talked about going back and seeing what was said. Did we mention this? How did we say it? What did we say we would get to them? Things like so here with this sort of thing. This is a call with a vendor, so there will be action items. Kind of won't be on our part; it'll be on their part. But a lot of times we'll have calls with our clients. And that yields a lot of action items for both of us, for us and for the clients. And with the better version, with the premium version of Fathom, the Teams version, you can extract action items from this transcript. You just click on there. Actually, when you have that license, it just sends you the action items. It doesn't even bother with this. You have to click on it. How can we had the license. We had the trial for a bit. And let me tell you, that thing was awesome. So yeah, the idea of being able to pick out action items of who said what and who needs to do what is great, because for us, we use HubSpot as our CRM. You see
Love
the
HubSpot.
CRM button, and yeah, that was your thing, right? Getting HubSpot into the organization.
I guess it was.
You asked her, and so what happens with our calls is if we have a call with a client, it automatically syncs all of that information, all this information you're looking at, it automatically syncs it to the client record, that client's record. In fact, when Chloe has to find a call or what was going on with, what was said and what the transcript was, she often doesn't bother going to the Fathom website. She often just goes to HubSpot and clicks into that client because the whole transcript's sitting right there. So it's got that. And by the way, that's automatic. You don't have to click the button, right? You can set it so that it automatically does it. And that's what we have set.
So for the clients that use their CRM regularly to, keep tabs on what they need to do, who they need to get back to, and when, it's not like you're saying you have to log into this separate platform for your to-dos or whatever it is. It'll go from this platform to HubSpot, so you don't have to work into yet another platform, which is another complexity in our lives that's sometimes hard to keep up with, right?
Yes, exactly.
Cool.
We were talking, what was that?
Do you know what else it works with? Like, does it work with all the name brands, your Salesforces of the world, and whatever else? Monday.
Let's see. Video conferencing, Zoom, Google Meet, Teams. It's got this Zapier sort of API integration. Where is the thing? You can connect Slack and HubSpot. I don't know if it has. We've never seen any others mentioned.
Oh, Mario's asking a question.
Oh,
Did we buy the license after the trial, or was it not worth it?
I got cheap. Okay, I'm just saying it outright. I got cheap, and I don't know if Chloe's communicating, but it happens to be an expensive license, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do it.
This does touch on a good question. What do you get for paying for it? Like, what did you give up when the trial ended that you're like, oh, I wish I had?
Oh, Chloe was unhappy when the trial ended. I can tell you that. Let's see. Hang on a second. I have a thing here. Where is Fathom? I'm clicking on stuff here. Getting to my
We hear you,
Fathom.
but we don't see you.
Yeah, hang on. You know, guy needs a private moment every once in a while.
I got you.
Okay. Let's see. Which tab is that? It's Fathom. Present. Share screen. Don't show that again. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
So, wait, this changed a little bit. There's a lot more. There was good reasons to go to the Fathom, to the, what's it called? Wait, come on. There's the little comparison item. There happens to be really good reasons to go to the paid version of Fathom. I was just too cheap to do it because it was like $25 a month per user. No, that's not what I want. Come on. I don't have it. I can't seem to find this.
All right, we could talk through it. So, what were some of the key features that you lost?
Picking out, what's it called? Picking out action items. That was great. You know what? Maybe I can find this. Hang on one second. Hang on one second. No, I'm not going to find this. I'm moving on with my life here because I know that back there was a time when we had the, what's it called, the premium version. The
Mario's asking what was your breaking point? At what price would it have been worth it? What was it, $29? It's not cheap, right, for that one application?
Yes, that's a great question. It was $25 a month. That was where I was like, $25 a month per user.
Yeah, you have multiple users. It gets expensive.
Yeah, it gets expensive quickly. But the thing is, there are some Teams features. Like it realizes you're working as a team. I wish I could get those slides about it. But yeah, that was one of those things of there are so many tools out there, and there's so many monthly things, and after a while you got to be like, which one of these things I really need? They're all expensive, so I don't want.
Let's touch on some of that. So what are some of the others that you've played with, tested, etc., and what would you say some of the differences are? So there's the stuff built into Teams, right? Which now with Copilot is becoming very prevalent, and they're hoping dominant. But why are you using Fathom over Teams? Like, what are you finding in terms of Teams with Copilot and stuff like that?
So with Teams, we weren't seeing the things. Essentially, it wasn't as easy. That's what it came down to. Like we would record it, we would get the transcript, but then it was like the transcript was there sometimes, and then it wasn't there other times. We couldn't figure out why the transcript would be there and it wouldn't be there. Where's the video? The video's somewhere in I don't know. It was in the chat. It's not in the chat. I lost the chat. Is it in SharePoint? It's in SharePoint somewhere. Then I got an email a few months later saying, hey, the video has been deleted. I'm like, what happened here?
So you weren't as happy with Teams as you are with Fathom.
Yeah, this Fathom was just easy. It was just so easy, and it's all there. It's just you click on the website, and it automatically takes you there. You can see all of your things really easily. You can share something. Oh, this was great. So we'll be on a call with a client, and they'll realize that we're using Fathom, and they'll be like, "Great, can you send me it?" It's one click in Fathom. Click, shared to everybody. They get the video, they get the summary, they get the transcript, they get everything you got in their email. It's great.
All right, well, that's good to know. Is this one of those things where Microsoft will eventually get it right and just?
Well, that's the thing. Microsoft might have this right already. I have not used Teams Premium yet. I think that's what it is. I have not used Teams Premium yet with Copilot. We have the Copilot license. We don't have the Teams Premium license, and supposedly there's a whole bunch more functionality in there that is not in the normal regular version of Teams.
Is that part of the new Teams licensing where they're breaking it apart from Office and stuff like that? Is that what that's about, or is that something else?
Partly. That was the various Teams product plans already existed before this, and now it's sort of being pushed into gear because Microsoft had to disconnect Teams from Office
for regulatory reasons, right?
Correct.
All right. So looks like we have more to do on the Teams developments that are happening. What about the other stuff? How about Fireflies?
Ooh, Firefly is great. Also, I feel like they were early in.
Very early, right?
Yeah. So what those guys are doing well is it's one of the things you'll see in Fathom. If you have a bunch of people on a conversation, I'm not exactly sure why, but it doesn't quite track who said what well. Like I showed you the transcript, and I showed you Norman said this and Ella said that. I happen to have gone to two good points in the chat in the transcript where it got it right. It doesn't always get it right. Like I'll look back at my meetings and it'll be like, I'm the one talking. Why is it saying someone else is talking? Like, of course, you're seeing the video and you're hearing it and you know who's who, but it's not. Fathom sometimes gets that wrong. Fireflies apparently is very good at transcription, and we'll get a lot of that correct right off the bat. It does a lot of the things that Fireflies does. Things like, where is it? All the pulling out the action items, comments, stuff like that. You can search through it. A nice thing you can do in Fireflies is you can clip out a piece of it as a soundbite. So you can do whatever with that little soundbite of, hey, this is what that person said.
Cool.
What else?
Are they all compatible with Teams, Google Meet, and or whatever Google calls it these days, and Zoom?
Yes. Yes. So like Fireflies, Otter, they're all compatible with Zoom, Meet, Teams. We're gonna call those the big three on this call right now. And some of them do more. Like I think you saw Fathom. It only gave me an option for 3 of them, but
there's all other ones, right? GoToMeeting, Blue Jeans, Skype, Lifesize. Like some of them.
WebEx.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Fireflies now. I see WebEx. I see Skype. What's that about?
Skype.
Blue Jeans, StylePad, Lifesize, GoToMeeting, Zoho. Like it's got a whole bunch of these. In fact, this is This is a pretty impressive integration list.
Mario's asking great questions. Why is the soundbite useful other than being a cool to have feature?
If I need to send just the sound, if a client asks me, hey, how do you know this or whatever, I don't know what the question is, but it's something that happened in the meeting. I can either send them the whole recording and say, hey, it's at 25:32, or I can pick out the little bit and say, here you go. This is when you said it. Or
Have
this
you
is what
done that?
Fathom doesn't do it. Fireflies
Okay.
does.
Oh, nice.
I don't think Fireflies does. I mean, Fathom does it. Fireflies definitely does it. I don't think Fathom does it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do you know about Otter?
Otter. So apparently Otter is not as great at transcription as Fireflies is, but it's got a whole bunch of its own little cool features. Like,
Tell me.
it doesn't, you get your normal automated summary, stuff like that. What I say, teams, the big three, we're going to call them. Otter's got this sort of, I think, Otter's got this sort of realizing, hey, there's a bunch of people here that are chatting, and a bunch of people in our organization that are having a bunch of internal meetings, and it will keep track of a bunch of those so that it understands who's in what meeting, and keeping track of that and giving everybody the things they need to know, though all those people. That's actually a thing. In Fathom, if I'm the one recording the meeting, I'm the one who gets everything and has to share it with whomever.
Right.
And the sharing in Fathom is interesting. I can set the meeting to share the recording automatically with everybody, but I can't set. If I want to send the recording to only 2 people in that meeting, that one-click button is not going to work for me. I have to get the link and then send those people the link, which is not really the greatest thing as far as like ease of sharing goes.
Do you generally share your meetings with these tools?
No, we don't. If a client asks for it for whatever reason, we will. Obviously, I'm not hiding anything. And if we need it, like if Chloe recorded it, or I recorded it and they need it, or Chloe recorded it, I need it, I'll look in HubSpot. So we have access to each other's things,
Right.
but only because it's syncing to HubSpot.
And a lot of times when we have client meetings, like we're meeting with the client, doing a few quarterly business reviews a week, and then we have internal meetings for the action items, right? So it's very helpful when we go back as a team and it's like, oh, you mentioned Microsoft Enter or something like that. And, what was the specific detail that the client wanted, in terms of feature set or whatever it is, pain points, annoyances, something that they were looking for. And like you said, like it's not easy to remember all these things, right? I mean, you're going through all these meetings, your days, your interruptions, whatever it is, and then, you go back to that point in the meeting, you see what the client said. Ultimately, we want to, basically, for lack of better words, we want to do the right thing by the client, and we want to do it effectively and efficiently. And this is one way that we're able to provide a better customer service experience, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what else do we want to go over?
I don't know. What questions we have out there?
Yeah, if there's any questions, Mario, love those questions.
Mario, great. I love him.
But there's so many things that are being developed. It's definitely a lot to keep up with. What are some other ones that we haven't really looked at yet? Do you know any other names that we should potentially put on the radar?
Oh yeah. I want to think of the sales one that our vendors are using. I'll get back to that in a second. Let's see. There's Fellow. Never tried it at all. Sonix. That's Sonix. Temi.
Wow,
Like Vocal-matic. I can go on and on, by the way.
a lot to
Supernormal,
keep up with.
Meat Geek, Trint.
And I'm sure like Zoom and Google are building this into their platforms, right? Teams is not the only one that's doing this, or are the other ones there yet? I know I read a lot about Zoom introducing some AI.
Google's got to be there. Bard has got to do this by now, I'm sure.
Yeah, Google's been a little bit behind, but they'll catch up. They'll catch up.
Yeah, they were going to catch up. Even if they're not there yet, for sure they'll catch up. They'll be there.
All right, maybe a future webinar.
Right. Yes.
All right, Ed, is there anything else you want to touch on? Go ahead.
Let's see. Hang on. I had some notes here of things that I didn't want to forget to mention. HubSpot, got it. Sharing, who said what, search, action items, meeting summary, got them all.
All right. So please definitely try these things out. If you want to reach out on personal experience share, you could just go to our website and fill out the contact us form, or you could hit us up on LinkedIn. We have plenty of webinars coming up and events, in-person event in Atlanta, Georgia. If you happen to be out there, check our websites on the events page. We have webinars coming up. I'm really excited about Women in Business that's happening in a month or two. Check our events page out. And we're super excited to bring other stuff that we're going to be talking about. One that I'm personally very passionate about is we will be speaking about smart technology in boardrooms and conference rooms with the manufacturer. You know, if you went to school and had smart boards and stuff like that, people are using those, and companies are using those very effectively in meetings, and we're going to have the manufacturer on to display the product and show you how it works. So we're super excited about that.
Thinking about this one. I was thinking about this one this morning. You guys have to come to this webinar. I'll tell you why. Because this guy demos. He's really good at demoing. Like, first time Chloe and I saw him do the demo, we got off the call and called each other and said, "Wow, he's really good at demos. That guy's really good at it." And it happens to be such a cool piece of hardware. These presentation screens you can interact with and pull up tools and do all kinds of stuff. It's great. Yeah, those smart boards are really something wild. And the Women in Business, yeah, so psyched about that. Esther's coming back for that one.
Yeah, we're gonna be, and meetings, huge part of our lives now, especially virtually. So that's why we're talking about this stuff with the AI, and all the ways that it could help you. And then on the in-person side with the smart technology, this is a trend that we see, where the more effectiveness you could have in these sorts of events, the better the better service you're gonna provide, the better effectiveness you're gonna provide. So we're super amped up. If you want to reach out to us or have any
questions, that in-person event, Atlanta, baby.
Yep. That's coming up. Stay tuned. We do have.
I get an invitation for it. The invitations went out, no?
I don't know the exact date. Do you have it?
Hey. Yeah.
What was that?
Our first in person in the Atlanta area. Get on it, folks. That's gonna be awesome. More worked out, getting a place, drinks, all kinds of goods. It's gonna be awesome.
Yep. So definitely stay tuned. Thanks a lot, Mario, for asking so many great questions.
Here we go.
And
I got it. June 12th at it's a bar, it's a rooftop, it's some sort of something event space.
June 12th in Marietta, Georgia, which is near our office. And definitely come if you're in the area.
Beer, cider, cocktail, bites,
free
network.
drink.
I can't go because I'm in New York, but I'm excited about this event that's happening down there. Morgan's put together a great event. Yeah, and then the Women in Business, Chloe and Esther. It's gonna be great.
Can't wait. All right. This was great. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. Alex is putting in the chat the various ways you could get in touch with us and more about our events. So definitely stay tuned, and please reach out if you have any questions.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mario in particular.